All right. I'm going to try this again. My recorder seems to have some type of time limit. I'm not sure why it's doing it, but let's try this again. I'm going to try to make it shorter anyhow. This is Harvey Jackson. Some years ago, I spoke up about some things I didn't like about how things were going, and I received a lot of my friends didn't like what I said. So, if you don't like it, I understand, but I'm going to say it anyhow. And you can send your comments, whatever, that's fine. I have big shoulders. I can take it. But I really am upset about what we've seen happening with that guy that died over a forged check. That was just absolutely ridiculous. And the way he died and the way it was happening, it just showed no concern for the law. As far as I'm concerned, it had some race involved in it, because it would have been another person. I don't think that would have happened. I'm just going to say it straight out. If the person would have been black, it probably would have been down with the guy's foot over his neck. Now, maybe he resisted. I understand that things get heated. But he had time to move his neck, move his foot, and put in a better position where that guy could at least breathe, where they could keep control of him. There are other cops that could have helped him hold that guy in a way where he could have been controlled. And I just want to make it clear, I'm not against police. I think we need to have a police. We need the police to be here and protect our communities. None of us, no matter what race you are, wants people running rampant, robbing your homes, molesting your children, taking things that aren't theirs, going into your cars. We don't want people walking around with guns and stuff, threatening us, threatening our freedom and our violence, because that's what happens when we don't have the police presence. We want the police. Every neighborhood wants the police. What happens when trouble comes down, they call the police. Even a gangster will call the police if it's bad enough. We want the police. But we want responsible police. We want police that do their jobs. We want police that treats everybody equally. We need to go back to community police where they know their neighborhood. We're not just driving around like the military, just observing the area instead of engaging people. That's what we need. And we need police that look at people as people, not by their race, not by their income. Because sometimes it's not about race, it's where you live at, what the situation is. And whether you're white or black, you still get bad treatment. We need responsible police. And I think what was wrong was wrong. I think those guys, I agree with them being fired. I believe the pensions need to be taken away. They need to be charged with murder. Even if it comes down to manslaughter, they need to do some time in jail. It was wrong. And what's worse about it, I have two sons. They're 7 years old now. And they want to grow up to become police officers. I try to teach, and I have taught my older children to respect the police. But what happens as they grow up and they see things like this happen, it changes their mind. And they say, well, I don't know if I want to be a part of something like that. When they go through discrimination, when they get stopped while walking black, which has happened before, not just to them, but they witnessed it happening to me. You get stopped for walking while black. I wrote a post some years ago about how my son was stopped walking off the bus with his badge on. He was stopped. Those things were wrong. But also what was wrong is I want to talk about the other side. Two wrongs don't make a right, people. And just think about this. You're burning down your own city, your own neighborhood. That doesn't make any sense. You should be taking your energy to protest correctly. We should follow the example of our former hero Martin Luther King and protest. We should have sit-ins We should take our money and use it for power. 8% of money. What happens if we all got together and quit shopping at businesses that do not support blacks or hire blacks? What happens if we got together and decided we're not going to vote for that judge or mayor that is not enforcing the law right? What would happen, people? What would happen if we got together and decided to pull our money together, which has happened in some counties, but not enough, to sue the school district and things like that that are not treating our children right? What would happen? But what we're doing is burning things down, breaking things, looting. And, it's not just us. They got other people in there taking advantage of that too. And just like the cops that did wrong, now we got guys taking advantage of the situation because most of us weren't there to, I'm not involved in protests, but most aren't there to protest and be violent. Most just want to make a statement that what was done was wrong. But we have some stupid characters that take advantage of the situation and make things worse. Or they let their emotions go out of control and make things worse. And now you got all those racists saying, look, see what I told you? See what I told you? And now you're letting them justify what's happened. Now you're creating your own character definition. Smart protests. Smart coming together. Do it smart. Hit them where it hurts. Not let us be hurt more by irresponsible behavior. Smart people. Smart. We need to go back to the old days of using our brains versus just venting out. And see, their idea is that once it's over, it's done. And we could go back to normal, the way we used to do things. No, we need to be smart about it and continue and let it be organized. We've lost our way. And it does hurt my heart what happened. I personally, and some people go, well, Harvey, why are you talking about this? As a child, I was harassed. I remember you could call them the Keystone cops that would come by and on a weekly basis pull me over off G Street in Merced. I'm 115 pounds and I got 200-pound officers surrounding me, making me do drunk tests, and I'm not drunk. And they did it on a regular basis as I was going to work, just to pull me over because I was black. I've been misidentified, and I told them to go check my my license plate number and stuff like that. And I was so scared, I gave him my wife's maiden name because I wasn't used to dealing with police. I didn't get in trouble. I have no record, and was slammed up against a wall and things like that. So yeah, I have some reasons to do that. And I know some of you guys have been worse than that. And they go, Harvey, what you going through is no issue. That's true. My issues are mild compared to what other people have. I have going out, passing out flyers for the church in more than one neighborhood, been pulled over because I was black. Not because I was passing out flyers, but because I was black. And one time I got pulled over. The guy was so embarrassed because he goes, well, do you have any drugs in the car? I go, yeah, I had drugs in the car. Asthma medicine. Do you have anything else? I go, yeah. I have flyers for the event that I'm passing out. Here's one. Here's one for you. Go and come tomorrow for our event. Because we're having 9/11 Heroes Day. We had a community coming out, other community groups coming out to support us. And here I am being followed for over a mile, getting pulled over. And that's when I was in my 20s. I think I was in my 20s or early 30s. And I had to tell my kids, now, I don't have to worry about that like you do because I'm 50 years old. They don't mess with me that much. But I did have a a situation just last year, I think it was last year, where I didn't think I was going to make it. Somebody swatted me while I was in LA doing my job, surrounded, customers in the back of the car, guns pointed at my head. I'm telling them, come get my license, and I don't know what the procedure is, but I was scared to death. Fortunately, the people in the car knew the police, or I would have been arrested. My car would have been taken. I would have been stuck in LA, even though they would have found out I was innocent, and I would have had to pay a whole bunch of money to get my car out over some person swatting me. And all I was doing was trying to find a customer to go pick them up to go home. So yes, I have experience of things, but it does not excuse us going and doing stupid stuff too. Parents, we need to teach our children right. And we need to teach them the right way to do things. And we see them doing wrong, we encourage them not to, because it doesn't help us. It's time for us to be smart. It's time for us to stand up and do the right thing. And like I said, there's other ways to get your point across where it counts versus burning things down and looting and things like that. And I know it's not all of us. It's a few stupid people out there doing some stupid stuff, but they're making us look bad. And they're not even all black. That's what makes it even worse. You know, they're not even all black. That stuff they have in LA. Why are you going to attack a CHP officer? They're not even allowed to take out their gun, I found out, to do anything to you. I mean, that doesn't make sense. You're attacking a CHP officer. That doesn't make any sense. Most of the stuff happening on the streets, it's not even the CHP. That's the most professional police officer that you can find. Now, come on, people. Let's do it right. Number one, remember, Christ helped us be free. It was because of Christ that we're free. He touched the hearts of not only those that were free slaves or escaped slaves, but Christians that were not white. We got to remember, it wasn't just blacks that helped us get our freedom, but we wouldn't have to do it unless we had the coalition of black and white coming together to make things happen. But they did it smart. Sometimes some things had to be done, but they did it smart. During Martin Luther King walk, it was black, white, Jewish, Hispanic. People forget about that. Even Hispanics that work together for our freedom. And I'm sure there were some Asians and other people involved in that too. And when we get our rights given to us, it doesn't just affect us, it always affects other people around us. So let's be responsible and do what's right so we can make a better world around us, just like it's been done in the past. Our dream has been deferred, people, but sometimes it's been deferred because of our own actions and our own inactions. The only way the dreams can be realized is by helping our kids get a good education, by being responsible parents, by teaching them how to manage their money and own property, by also teaching them how to be responsible with politics and how to use our power to influence politics, just like we used to do in the old days. And we've gone away from that. Violence, looting, fighting, that's not the way, people. That's not the way. All you're doing is inviting more of that, and now you've emboldened the police to come and do worse than if we would have done it smart. And also I want to say to the police, we need you. We need you. We just want you to be responsible. We want you to do your job. You know, fortunately, most of the ones in my neighborhood, they're respectful. The majority of ones I see in my neighborhood. And we live in a place where, you know, well, I'll just say I've had a positive, 90% positive experience. I've only had a couple times where I've had some instance where I thought wasn't fair. But, you know, we need the police. We need our first responders. We need you guys, but we need you guys to do your job. I think I said enough. Parents, teach your kids right. Police, do your job right, please.